We are back again for some more action. Manchester United returns in action in just a few. The lineups are out. Newcastle United coming to Old Trafford. Welcome again to this match build-up of this big one as we do try to redeem ourselves. Eric Ten Hag trying to bounce back from the misery that has been piling on him. He has finally listened to our plea and made 7 changes to the starting team as Manchester United look to turn things around and return to winning ways at the Theatre of Dreams. So it's a good time, obviously, knowing now that the boss is listening probably to our plea, but it was always also going to be expected that certain key players to him would not be starting in such a game, but it's an important one because it might save his job. But this is the starting lineup that has been confirmed for that game coming up in exactly less than in about 55 minutes from now. In about 55 minutes from now, that's when the game should be kicking off at Old Trafford as Manchester United tries to bounce back from that 3-0 loss to Manchester City. It was a Premier League game. This one is a Carabao Cup game, so maybe that is enough to give us hope that we might perhaps approach it differently. But the starting 11 clearly makes it different. Andrew Onana is starting in between the sticks again, not rested. Victor Lindelof is in there. So is Harry Maguire. Mason Mount has bounced back to start this one. Anthony Martial will be getting a rare start as the number 9. Of course, Rasmus Højlund has been arrested for this one, could be coming off the bench. Sergio Reguilon returns to the starting team. Alejandro Garnacho is in. Is going to be starting as well. Casemiro is back in the starting 11, the captain of the team. Diogo Dalot, Anthony Dos Santos, and Hannibal Mabry. That is the starting 11 that is going to be taking on Newcastle as we do try to repeat the performance we put on in the final of this same cup. This time around, things are different. We beat them by 2 goals then, Marcus Rashford and Casemiro. Rashford is not in this one, but Casemiro is in there as the captain, returning from a bit of injury that had sidelined him for a few. He's returning now with perhaps newfound energy as he does try to be the anchorman as we do take on this team. Let me know what you think about that starting 11, but also your expectations from this game in the comment section. Let me know what your expectations from this game are. Do you think it is the game that might change or turn things around for Eric Ten Hag? Could it determine his fate? What exactly do you expect to see in this game? He has been waxing lyrical about the players and this club, and that's a statement from Ten Hag earlier on, saying that at this club, every game involves high stakes. There is no second chance if we don't perform on the night. Remember, they beat you, you bust. It's the 4th round at Old Trafford where we are beaten 3-0 by Man City. Newcastle cannot beat us. But this is my honest opinion about the squad, I think, and I would want to listen to yours as well. But I think it's a good squad. It's a good thing that Eric Ten Hag has changed. He has listened to what the fans have been demanding for. I was telling you that even if these boys were beaten by Newcastle United, not so many people would leave feeling bad because these young players are expected to come and put on something different. They will be more exciting, more enterprising, and of course, Loser Podcast is saying we are watching in live. Thank you, Loser Podcast, of course, for tuning in. It's again a build up to an important game, not in terms of the competition we are in, but in terms of the manager and the venue. We've lost here in a derby. We don't want to lose again. The fans will lose the confidence and trust in the whole Eric Ten Hag project. We cannot afford to lose another one here. It's a pressure game, but Eric Ten Hag has done the right thing, chose to rest players. Now, this is for me what I'm expecting to see. I'm expecting to see a United that plays a lot better. I think Mason Mount Hello, hello, hello. We should be back now. Sorry about that. Sound was off. Sorry about that. We are back on. I'm sure we are back on now. Hello. Yes, there we go. So, yeah, where were we? So, for me, it's a good thing. There's already a lot for me to be positive about. To start off with, I feel there is something for us to pick up on as we go into this game. That Eric Ten Hag has made changes. We didn't want to see Marcus Rashford in this game. We didn't want to see Bruno Fernandes, but we also want to see how the team looks without these players who Eric Ten Hag is fascinated about. I think it's a good opportunity. And I'll tell you, for me this season, the best game we have played this season for me was against Crystal Palace. The win against Crystal Palace before they beat us in the Premier League, for me, is the best. We looked comfortable. We had patterns. We were building something. And in that game, if my memory is serving me right, there was no Bruno Fernandes, there was no, I think, Marcus Rashford. The youngsters started in that game. Mason Mount, I think, started that one. I feel we were so comfortable in that game. We should have played a back three in that game. For me, it was the most comfortable win for Manchester United. The most comfortable game. We looked a bit, calm and different. Not exceptional, but we looked different. So maybe we look better without some of these so-called star players, and maybe this could be another impressive performance from us. But yeah, so you give it up to Eric Ten Hag, and of course you can let me know, guys, where you're tuning in from. Where are you going to be watching this one? I know it's not a Premier League game, it's not a Champions League game, but for us as Manchester United, each game matters because we've got to see what we are working on. Each game is an opportunity to improve. Let's, in case you're just joining us, the confirmed lineup, I'll give it, to you again, and for you to see. Of course, the players already arrived at Old Trafford. Those were them, arriving earlier. So did the manager, Eric Ten Hag, as well. Picture of him arriving with confidence, exuding confidence because he knows, I think, it's a Carabao Cup. We are defending champions. This is the team we beat. We should be able to deal with them. But these are the trusted soldiers that he has come with for this one, as he looks to rediscover his winning touch. Andre Onana starting in between the sticks. I think it is the right decision. I spoke about it earlier. I did not expect Andre Onana to be rested for this game. Why? Because he has got to be getting every minute in as he tries to build on his confidence. So for me, people have been calling for Nana to be rested and all. I think it's early days for him to be rested for any game. He needs every minute. He's a goalkeeper and he's new in between the sticks of Manchester United. So each game is a good experience for him. So great decisions there from Eric Ten Hag. Victor Lindelof is starting in the central defense together with Harry Maguire. I think I love their pair, their duo. It's a decent one. Lindelof is a hard worker. Whatever they have deployed him as, a backup. He has been there. I feel for me it's okay, and it's good that in this one he's going to be playing in his preferred position, of course, as a centre back, not playing off the left like Eric Ten Hag was trying things out against Manchester City. Harry Maguire, of course, again. Our other good player, he has improved a lot. You can't afford to be benching him now. I think it's good he's starting another game. I do expect him again to be in control. He should be one of the leaders on the pitch. I should, and that's a bit of something we've been lacking as a team. So I feel it's a good start for him. Mason Mount, these are the games he should be starting. And yes, he shows hope and promise, but he quite does nothing. And for me, that's where I have issues with Mason Mount. That he's so busy throughout the game, but he's all over the place, but ineffective. No assist, no goal. I feel he's got to become more effective, and for him to be more effective, he has got to have a focal role and position he plays. Otherwise, this free role of him roaming the pitch and everywhere, for me, doesn't quite work. He has got to be more effective. But did he deserve the start? Obviously, if you are the first signing for a club like Manchester United, you can't afford a start in a derby, a Manchester derby. You obviously have got to be starting against a team like Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup. So glad. Anthony Martial, glad to have him back. This boy, we have not been lucky to see the best of Martial. And that's why every manager who has come in after Louis van Gaal, who signed him, has been keeping him there, even with injuries, because he's such a special talent. He scores when he wants. He's so confusing and it's annoying. And I think he's one player at Manchester United who we would love to hate. And it's interesting. You love to hate Anthony Martial because he's quite inconsistent, but you know when he's good, he will score goals. The issue though is that injuries have fettered him, but it's good to see him return in the Carabao Cup. I actually do expect him to score in this game for some reason. I think he will score. So good start there, getting a rare one. Sergio Reguilon starting on the left. I would have preferred him to start against Man City. But anyhow, him back on the pitch always makes the left flank look exciting. Now, partner him with Alejandro Garnacho, who obviously will be flying in from the left. I'll tell you, the left flank is going to be more exciting for Manchester United. Anthony Martial is going to be fed, without a doubt. Casemiro returns to captain this one after sitting out of a couple of games because of course, injuries, but also because of suspension. But he's back now to skipper Man United against the team he scored against in the final of the same competition. So a great one as well. That for for Casemiro rather to be back to try and of course bring some bit of experience and stability in the team. Diogo Dalot will be flying in on the right. I feel he has been fairly consistent in that right without Wan-Bissaka, who returned by the way. I think it's been good. Bissaka is on the bench, so he's back in the squad. And Antonio as well coming up to start. I hope he gets his confidence in this game and does something because in bigger games he has struggled, he has suffered. Hannibal Mabry, the energy man, is starting, and that's the boy you're looking at there in the artwork. So it's a solid team. Of course, on the bench, we've got Aitel Baindil, we've got Johnny Evans, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Amrabat, Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, McTominay, Hoyland, and Marcus Rashford. Those are the players we've got on the bench. Now, the kids have started. We've been praying for them to be given a chance. This is their chance. What will they do? How on earth will they be able to perform this one? To navigate this one? For me, it's easy. Be calm, be cool, be collected. These players have got to be comfortable. They have got to be calm. There is no pressure. I don't think anyone is going to castigate these young boys for failing to beat Newcastle. So for me, I think the only secret to Man United for me is just being calm, and these players are talented. They will enjoy their football. Just enjoy. That's what I'll be telling them if I'm Erik Ten Hag. You go and enjoy your football. Be calm and enjoy your football. That's what you should be telling the players. Because to be honest, I think these young players just need now to be released to be released to do their thing, to play their way, to be happy, to enjoy themselves. So for me, that's what I expect to see, and that's why I think it's going to be a good game, a brilliant game, a pacey game, an end-to-end game with boys expressing themselves. It's supposed to be a good one. You can let me know of what you think about this one. But question is, should Erik Ten Hag be beaten? Should Manchester United lose this game? What will be left of Erik Ten Hag? Should it be the test? Should we look at this game as the ultimate test for Erik Ten Hag and his credentials? Because we've been all scrutinizing him and his tactics and his selections. The performance tonight, and again, guys, for me, with Man United now, I'm not looking at result per se. Against a team like Newcastle, they are ahead of us in the Premier League. They've got more depth in their squad than us, obviously. They are more comfortable. They play better. They will know how, easy it's been for some teams to come at Old Trafford and bully us. I think for me, it's always going to be a difficult game. But for me, success for Manchester United will be improvement in the basics, the patterns, how we build, our players not running into each other. Do we look organized? Are we pressing? Are we working hard? Are we tracking back? Are we playing together? The performance, the whole performance of the unit and individuals for me is what is going to give me an idea of whether this game should be a lifeline for Erik Ten Hag or not. Because I'm not at the level where I judge Man United now with results. Because before you think of the results, think about the performance. The performance brings the results. But our performances in the last games, even those we've won, have been flattering, to be honest. They have been flattering. So that's what I want to see. But in the squad that Erik Ten Hag has selected, the young players, and speaking of young players, by the way, our young boy, Kobe Maino, returned and played again. That's why he's not in the squad, because he played yesterday full 90 minutes as our under 21 team lost by 4 goals to 3 to Salford City. So Maino played and assisted twice in that game. We scored 3 goals. He assisted twice. Kobe Maino, the future of the pivot role in Man United. So for me, it's good to see. I did expect him in the squad today after knowing that he played 90 minutes in that game, but it's a good thing. He's being tested. You can clearly see that Erik Ten Hag and his technical team are up to his business. They are following him. They are trying to get him back and fully fit to play football. Because trust me, when that boy returns into this team, he's going to solve 90% of our problems. I told you, when we got a striker back then, I told you when we got Rasmus Højlund in as a striker, we solved the biggest chunk of our problems, which I think we did. Now, I will tell you, one of the biggest problems we've got is in the midfield because guys run through us like a highway. I think Kobe Maino could be the solution. And when Maino is good, when he's there and we get that fulcrum, farm, all the other players around him will look good. Bruno Fernandes will look better. He won't have to worry so much about tracking back. Mason Mount will look better. He will make everyone else look good around him. For those of you who have been there a bit long, you've watched players like Makelele. You saw just recently how Golo Kante made Leicester City and later Chelsea look thick. So those players are always important. And that's why today, by the way, they are some of the most expensive players. Players who play the Jude Bellingham, Kobe Maino role, uh, uh, Declan Rice, Caicedo. They are the most expensive players now in football because it is such a rare, crucial position in football. So Manchester United in Kobe Maino has got a gold. We've got a jewel. We've got a great jewel for us to celebrate. So for me, it's a brilliant thing that he returned. He's not in the squad, but he will be returning soon enough to solve big part of our problems. That boy Kobe Maino. But speaking of Maino, by the way, the team we lost to Salford City, and we've been talking about Erik Ten Hag and trying to look at young players. Do you know that Salford City is owned by the greatest young players United has had, the class of '92? Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, I think Bex as well, Gary Neville, Phil Neville. They all came together and bought a club, Salford City. It's the one that beat us by 4 goals to 3. So young players, if you trust them and keep them together, they can do wonders later on. When they succeed. So Erik Ten Hag should know well that this squad he has selected is one to give him a lifeline because young players will always do that for you as a manager. Trust them, and trust you me, they will reward you. So it's a good selection that we've seen. So Kobe Maino is on his way back. So yeah, that's where we are. How do we approach this game? I think for me, the thing, and this is one of the problems I've had with Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag, to be honest, and all the games we've played, and I think it speaks of how it takes long to change strategy, change game plan, because clearly from the start of the season, the game plan for Erik Ten Hag has always been you come and quickly get off the blocks, go and go get at them immediately from the word go and go for goals and try to and beat them in the first half. And that is why Manchester United has been looking good in most games. We've been looking good in the first 20-30 minutes because we get off the blocks so fast. Even against Man City, so Scott McTominay inside the first 5 minutes, he was already going for goal and almost getting a goal. We're all over Man City in the first 20 minutes, and that has been the story of all Man United games. We start well, and then somehow we don't know what happens. So because maybe it hasn't worked, we start so well and go off the block so fast and do a lot of nothing, and then the other teams grow into the game, and then we now start playing catch up. Now, I think Erik Ten Hag has got to change that game plan. Now, more so with these young players, you don't want to demand from them so early. Let them grow into the game. So for me, the game plan for United should be go into the game and just keep passing and enjoying yourselves as you grow into the game. Of course, Garnacho will have his moments of pace but again, also teach him to calm down because for me, that is one of his weaknesses in his game. He gets too excited and wants to do a lot of things so fast. So for me, I'm thinking the game plan for Ten Hag with the squad he has selected should be don't get off the block so fast. This is Newcastle, respect it. Just grow into the game. Let these players who have not been used to starting games, who have not been used to playing together, let them just start figuring out each other, possess the ball, as you start growing into confidence and getting ideas of pinholes which we want to exploit in Newcastle. But the thing is, Eric Ten Hag will be fascinated about his formations and his squads, and he wants to get off the block so fast. And in the first 20-30 minutes, if it doesn't work, it all comes down, on us. We pay for it. We are brought back. So we go all out so fast. And you only do that if you're sure you've got clinical players. That in the first 30 minutes you can score 3 goals and kill off the game. And you just now play catch up and manage it. But United has not got clinical players. Our players are not clinical. So but also they don't have the confidence. They are not confident, yes. So you've got to build them into the game. For me, that should be the game plan. That's the other weakness I've seen with Eric Ten Hag. And that's why in all press conferences after every game, Ten Hag is talking about how, we started well in the first 30 minutes. In the first half, we played well. Da, da, da. Then, so for me, it should be a change of a game plan. What's your prediction of the game as well? I'll give you mine. Of course, it's a couple of minutes away. Of course, it starts 15 minutes past the top of the hour. We'll be, of course, letting you to go on to enjoy it. But trust me, it's a whole big important game. The players are there already at Old Trafford. The players are there and enjoying themselves. They are, of course, in it. I do hope they are comfortable. I do hope they are confident. I'm confident we are going to win this one because of the squad that Ten Hag has chosen to trust. That is what gives me the confidence that we are going to beat Newcastle United, because they have got Arsenal, by the way, so we are playing them with Arsenal at the back of their minds. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. So Mason Greenwood and Alte Bindil are trending, and people are questioning why Bindil is not given a chance to start. Well, the goalkeeping position I've learned is not one that you think around with so much. Now look, guys, there's something interesting, guys, as we do talk Man United, and I've seen this today. This whole people going on and about, and I'm a Man United supporter who loves to see all our best players there. Don't get it twisted. But I've seen people complaining about the idea of Andre Onana going for the World Cup with Cameroon, or rather for the Africa Cup of Nations with Cameroon next year, and us not having him available for a couple of games because of the Africa Cup of Nations. And I'm thinking, the people who are complaining about that do not understand the importance of football at all. And and again, I hate to be back here talking about the hypocrisy of Man United supporters, but we can be hypocrites at times, and it's annoying because I've not heard a single person complain about any player playing for their national team. It can't be a problem for a player to play for their national team. That's the dream of anyone, to represent their country in anything they do. So whereas that doesn't mean I don't want to fight for my place at the club. That doesn't mean I don't love my club. But I can't love my club more than my country. This is national duty. It's an international duty. My country has called upon me to come and represent them. It's the dream. It's where charity begins, at home. It's my country, for crying out loud. And people are complaining how we can't do without Andronana when the AFCON is on. What have you? Why don't they pause games when the AFCON is going on? They should pause Premier League games if they feel there are so many African players who are going to be away, because they are that important for you. I think for me, that talk of people complaining about Onana going for the AFCON, yes, whereas I love United and I would have loved him to be there, well, I can't complain about him going to play for his country in the Africa. The biggest football shop is on the continent. So for me, I won't go into that hypocrisy. I'll tell Bindale will get his opportunity. Then he will go and play. There's talk of them signing David De Gea on a short-term contract. If United have to do that, let them go ahead. If the rumors we had before were true, but let no one be questioning why Andrew Nana has got to go and play for his country, Cameroon, when United has got games to play. That's absolute selfishness, nonsense, utter garbage and riffraff. I won't be party to that conversation. So Onana, we'll miss you at United, but go enjoy the Africa Cup of Nations in your motherland. Enough about that. Enough said. Now, back to the game. So here we are. we've got how many minutes are left? About 30 minutes to kick off. I will leave, I think, in about 15 minutes. I'll let you go, relax, and you catch your game, enjoy yourself. But my prediction, I think it's going to be an interesting one. I honestly think Newcastle is going to, you know, be a headache, but I think it will be toe to toe, end to end. I'm thinking both sides will score. I'm thinking Manchester United might nick it. I think we might edge it. I think we'll edge it, but it will be an exciting game. I think it's going to be another end-to-end entertaining game because Newcastle play with confidence as well and application. You want to see it, and I feel the team that Eric Ten Hag has selected is a ball-playing team. I think we've got quite a number of ball players in there, and I think expect a high-tempo game. So I expect it to be a good game. Will it be easy for us? Obviously, no. There are no easy games today for Man United at least. Newcastle you should also not expect an easy one. I would have loved to watch it with my boy, but it's too late. He's sleeping. He supports Newcastle, but yeah, it's I think for me going to be an important, exciting game that will change things around for Manchester United. It's going to be the turning point for Manchester United as we go into that new season, rather that uh, you know this new month of November, the 1st of November, the start of a new month. Would it be the start of new life, new things for Manchester United? I think so. I think so. This was Halloween last night. We should be giving this Newcastle their worst nightmare, their worst dreams at the Theatre of Dreams. The Magpies should feel it. So let's be positive about the game. Let's be excited about these young boys. The thing that young boys do, what should be guaranteed, is entertainment. Expect to see entertainment. Expect mistakes, of course, naive mistakes. Expect maybe rash decisions, but expect excitement. So for me, that's what I'm hoping for. If I get that, whether they beat us or not, if I'm entertained, if I see patterns, if I see improvement and excitement, if I see hunger in players, if I see desire, well, it will be progress, and then maybe I will stand firm on the ground and say Eric Ten Hag is not moving a muscle. But short of that, if that doesn't happen, well, I'm not sure what the story of Ten Hag and his future at United will be. But of course, that's me. You can, of course, as well let me know of your opinion and your prediction of the game. My prediction, like I said, both teams will score. It will be a tight one. United will nick it. Maybe 2-1 or 3-2. 2-1, 3-2, 3-1 for Manchester United. They're not beating us again at Old Trafford. Not Newcastle. Not happening, guys. Not happening. It is not happening. Don't even think about it, because it is not going to happen at all. That's what I think. So, yeah. There you go. It's been an amazing return to live. Of course, thank you for being a part of it. I want to let you go and rest as you do. Prepare yourself for that game that starts in just under 20 minutes. It should be starting in just under 20 minutes. So go enjoy it, and let's see how it goes. I'll be giving you my match reaction and perhaps my verdict on Eric Ten Hag and whether he is the man to lead us to the promised land. Thank you.